Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Community Development and Regulatory Services for today, January 28th. I've been joined by council members Warsami, Reich, Fry, Quincy, and Kano. We've also been joined by our council president, Barb Johnson, who is here to make a special presentation to our very valued employee, Jerry LePage, who is retiring after 44 years. And I thought I might cry if I had to give the resolution, and Council President Johnson wanted to be here. So Jerry, if you wouldn't mind coming forward. I'll turn this over to Council President Johnson.
Well, thank you, Jerry. As I was thinking about 44 years, I have to ask you, are you in Murph or what pension plan are you in? Para. Okay. Well, boy, that is a long career with the city. So thank you so very much. And we have a certificate of appreciation for all your years of service to the city of Minneapolis. And that's, the city employees, that's about all they get these days. And it says, whereas Jerry LePage has been working for the Minneapolis Housing and Redevelopment Authority, began working with the Minneapolis Housing and Redevelopment Authority in 1969 as an intern from the University of Minnesota School of Public Affairs, now the Humphrey Institute. And whereas Jerry was hired full-time by the Minneapolis Housing and Redevelopment Authority in 1970, holding various positions including rehab, loan, and grant counselor, assistant area manager, project coordinator, and senior project coordinator. And whereas Jerry's efforts assisted in the construction of many great projects in Minneapolis, including various single-family homes, River Place, Loring Park Village Green Apartments, Grainbelt Housing, Van Cleve East and West, East River Mews, Creekside Commons, River Run Townhome and Apartments, Veterans Housing, Longfellow Station, and Nicollet Square Housing for Youth. And whereas Jerry should be very proud to know that through his efforts, many of the underprivileged and underserved citizens of Minneapolis have decent, safe, and affordable places to call home, thanks to Jerry's dogged determination to get the job done. And whereas Jerry LePage, after serving this great city for over 2 generations, has now decided to retire from the city of Minneapolis and renew his dreams of becoming a full-time student. And whereas, therefore, it is my sincere pleasure to present this certificate of appreciation to Jerry LePage with gratitude and appreciation for the many contributions and tireless service he has invested over the past 44 years in the city of Minneapolis. Jerry's hard work and dedication have improved the lives of many citizens and our city, and we all wish Jerry the best. There you go.
I'm not sure what to say. Someone said that was 44 years of misprint or a typographical. It's not. It was 44 years. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but I really have enjoyed working for the city of Minneapolis. I think if I wasn't as old as I am, I'd still be working because I love this job. I love the work I do. I love the people I work with, and I have a great boss, and I'm going to miss them all. Thank you.
Thank you. And, we have age transition that's going on at our city. And I think, for all of us, it's going to be a great challenge replacing the institutional knowledge and hard work and history that some of our longtime employees have given to our city. So we will miss you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Barb. We'll return then to the regular agenda as published, starting out with item number 1, which is a land sale. Ms. Law, welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and committee members. Item number 1 is the proposed sale of 1829 Newton Avenue North for $1,000. The adjacent owner has proposed to buy it, and that does represent the full fair market value. She will be combining it with her adjacent property and use it as additional side yard. There is one thing I would ask the committee to change on the resolution. In the committee report, it states that we will put a conservation easement on the property to prevent it from having its own house. That is not in the resolution, so I would ask that that be added to the resolution.
Okay. Are there any questions for Ms. Law on land sale number 1? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 1, which is a land sale at 1829 Newton Avenue North. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move approval of this item with the staff recommendation as amended.
Approval of item number 1 has been moved. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move on to item number 2. Mr. Pettiford, welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, committee members. I have a proposal for the purchase of a parcel at 3216 30th Avenue South by Accent Homes. Accent Homes proposes to pay full fair market value for the parcel and to develop a 1,900 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a full basement and a double-car detached garage. The home will be marketed for owner occupancy at an estimated sales price of approximately $300,000. Accent Home has recently completed 2 other transactions with the city. I've walked through the properties. They've been exceptionally fine houses. They've been sold to owner occupants. One at 1235 Monroe just closed last Friday. And I'm looking forward to this one rising out of the soil as well. Are there any
Questions for Mr. Pettiford on item number 2? Seeing none, thank you for your report. We'll open the public hearing on item number 2, which is a land sale at 3216 30th Avenue South. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Frye.
Yes, I'd like to move that we adopt the staff recommendation.
Councilmember Frye has moved approval of the staff recommendation. Further comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move on to item number 3, which is a deed equipment loan. Casey, welcome. Will you pronounce your last name for me?
Jevachensky.
Mr. Casey, welcome. Can I call you that? Is that all right?
All right. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I am Casey Jevachensky from CPED's Business Development Team. Before you today is a request to submit a Minnesota Investment Fund application to the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. The application is for a $100,000 forgivable loan, which would be used to fund Jack Link's office expansion project in the warehouse district of downtown Minneapolis. This is also a public hearing as required by the state program guidelines and the State Business Subsidy Act. The Minnesota Investment Fund program is a state program designed to provide match financing for industrial, manufacturing, and tech-related businesses, which in turn increase the tax base and promote economic vitality. DEED requires the local municipality to formally apply on behalf of the business seeking funding. The business and our regional economic development partner, Greater MSP, have asked our assistance in seeking the state funding. DEED requires that a business submit an initial application in order for the state to assess whether the project qualifies for the Minnesota Investment Fund funding. That initial approval has already been given, and now Greater MSP, Jack Links, and the city are required to submit the final formal application, including the public hearing notice. A little bit of background on the company. Jack Links was founded in 1985 in Minong, Wisconsin, and has become the #1 meat snack brand in the U.S. They're a privately held company, and they manufacture a variety of meat snacks, including beef jerky and sausages, and they have the well-known Messin' with Sasquatch television commercials. The company's headquarters remain in Wisconsin, and they have approximately 2,500 employees across the world. Within Minnesota, there are approximately 100 jobs. They have a production facility in Mankato, Minnesota, and their office downtown here consists of approximately 35 staff focused on mainly sales and marketing functions of the company. The loan they are seeking, as I mentioned, is for $100,000. Now will allow the company to expand its current office space, which is at 110 5th Street North, as well as complete the build-out of a brand-new office across the street in the Butler Square building. Both locations together total approximately 40,000 square feet, and the state's forgivable loan will leverage an additional $310,000 in the form of landlord finance tenant improvements and business equity. The loan will be used for equipment purchases, including computers, phone systems, and other equipment. In order to qualify for the forgivable loan, the company has committed to add 20 jobs over the next 2 years in between both offices. However, depending on the company's growth over these next few years, there is potential for even more substantial job creation. Given the city's proximity to the company's other Midwestern operations and the pool of talented workforce, Minneapolis is a natural fit for the company, and this expansion will help solidify their presence in the city for years to come. Staff recommends approval of the application as well as approval to execute the required loan documents, business subsidy agreement, and government resolution should, assuming funding will be awarded by the state. And we have representatives from DEED, Greater MSP, and Jack Links here, should you have any questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Casey on item number 3? Councilmember Frye.
Thank you, Chair Goodman, excuse me. If you go beyond the 20 jobs and the economy does continue to improve, do you have the space over at that facility in the warehouse district to continue to expand without getting another building?
Yep, I don't have the exact number, but I believe at least 50 jobs in total, if not more. It's a pretty large space. I think, is it about up to 75 offices or so?
Configuration 75.
Thank you.
Yep, welcome.
Other questions for Casey? Seeing none, thank you for your report. We'll open the public hearing on item number 3, which is authorizing the application to the State Department of Employment and Economic Development's Minnesota Investment Fund. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I gladly forward this with approval.
Approval has been made, or a motion has been made for approval by Councilmember Reich. Further comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. Thank you for being here today. We'll move on then to item number 4. Mr. Wilson, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Grant Wilson from the Minneapolis Business Licensing Department. We have an application by the French Meadow Bakery for an upgrade and a permanent expansion of premises. That application does require a public hearing. The application will allow them for the first time since the year 2000 upgrade from an on-sale wine and beer license to a full liquor license. Also, the application will allow them to expand their outside patio by 20 seats. With this expansion, they will have 116 seats outdoors seasonally and 160 seats indoors. The hours of operation proposed are 6:30 in the morning till 1 a.m. for the interior and 6:30 until 10 p.m. during the week. This public hearing was noticed to 646 residents, property owners within 600 feet. We received 3 responses from this public hearing mailing. All 3 were in support. Staff recommendation is to approve this application.
Are there any questions for Mr. Wilson on the staff recommendation to approve this application? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 4, which is application for an on-sale liquor and Sunday sales Class C license and an expansion of a patio. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Cano. Councilmember Cano has moved to approve the staff recommendation. Further comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. Thank you very much for expanding that license, so now we can actually have drinks at the French Meadow. We all appreciate it. Councilman, Mr. Wilson, item number 5.
Madam Chair and committee members, item number 5 is an application by the Office Pub and Grill at 307 Washington Avenue North for a on-sale liquor license with Sunday sales Class B in premises that were formerly occupied by the Deja Vu Adult Entertainment Center. It's owned by the same owners as Deja Vu. The Office Pub and Grill will have seating inside for 73 persons and outside for 44. They have planned to be open till 2 a.m. daily. The owners of this business are Peter Hafiz and Jason Money. Both of these people have other interests in other businesses in Minneapolis. A police review of this application has been completed, and they're recommending approval. A public hearing is required because this site has not held a liquor license before. We did a public notice mailed to all property owners and residences within 300 feet. 43 notices were in fact mailed. As of today, we have received no responses for or against this application. Staff's recommendation is to approve.
Questions from Mr. Wilson on item number 5? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 5, which is the Office Pub and Grill application for non-sale liquor license with Sunday sale, Class B. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Frye.
Move that we adopt the staff recommendation.
Motion has been made to approve Mr. Wilson's recommendation. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That item is approved. Thank you very much for being here today. Mr. Wilson, thank you. Because Mr. Wilson is here, it reminds me to move the consent agenda, items 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Are there any items anyone would like to pull off the agenda? Seeing none, I'll move all items on the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those items are approved. We'll then move to item number 6, which is our rental dwelling license issue.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, council members. I'm Cynthia Gagne with the Department of Regulatory Services. The property involved in this action is located at 2731 16th Avenue South in Minneapolis. This property is a single-family dwelling. The respondent in this matter, Mohammed, is the owner of record and obtained his license to operate that property as a rental business in January of 2012. Between May of 2012 and April of 2013, there were 5 instances of nuisance conditions occurring at that property. Each time, the city provided notice to the owner to abate the violations, providing time to comply. The owner failed to take the appropriate action to abate the nuisance conditions, and solid waste and regulatory service contractors had to abate those nuisances at the property. The repeated nuisance condition at this property is a violation of Licensing Standard 5 of Minneapolis Code of Ordinance 244-1910. There can be no more than 3 instances in a 24-month period. In this case, there were 5 within 1 year. On February 1st, 2013, a director's notice of noncompliance was sent to the owner. The city, on August 19th, 2013, sent a notice of revocation to this owner by certified mail. The notice gave the owner 15 days to file a written objection to the city's motion. The certified letter was signed for and accepted, but the owner failed to file a written objection. The city is requesting that the license to operate this building as rental be revoked.
Are there any questions for staff? Any questions from members of the committee for staff on the staff recommendation? Seeing none, thank you for that report. We'll open the public hearing on item number 6, which is the rental license held by Mohammed for 2731 16th Avenue South. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Please step forward and state your name and address for the record.
Okay, my name is Sophia, and this
Your last name, ma'am?
Sophia Goulet.
And what is your address?
2303 11th Avenue, South Minneapolis. I am the manager. I just took this property as the manager of this property for this month, and we find out that the most of the stuff that it was going to a wrong address. And now all the bills, all the fines, all the tax, all the stuff, we paid it off, and we do not want to lose our licensing. So whatever that needs to be done, I'll be more than happy to fix it. Since now it's the new management that is running the property, there will not be any more violation.
Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Frye.
I move that we adopt the staff recommendation.
Staff recommendation is to revoke the rental license. This was the finding of the administrative law judge. We are not allowed to take on any other information, and I don't believe the actual owner of record is here today. Either his manager would not be speaking as the owner of record. As a result of that, Councilmember Fry has moved to adopt the staff recommendation. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll then move on to the last item, which is item number 14. Ms. Guild, welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, council members. Do you want a presentation on this, or do you want to just read? Okay. So I am Kristen Guild. I am the manager of the city's business development division. We are a staff team that works with businesses to start, stay, and grow in Minneapolis. And we do this in a variety of ways, using a variety of tools. We help businesses find the perfect location for them within the city. We manage a number of small business loan programs. And we also connect businesses to resources that are offered by others. You saw a good example of that earlier today with the Jack Link loan from the state. There's another example before you right now with this report. The U.S. Small Business Administration offers a mini MBA course every year. It's called Emerging Entrepreneurs. It is targeted toward businesses to define growth strategy. They've offered it for the past few years in Minneapolis. We've seen tremendous success for our businesses that have participated, and I've attached a list of all the past participants. They do ask, the SBA asks for local sponsors for the program. The relationship isn't a financial one. The SBA fronts the whole program cost, but they do ask for sponsors to help get the word out to businesses within their community. And they've asked us, the City of Minneapolis, to be a sponsor of this program for 2014, and the report before you recommends that the City Council sponsor this program and provides a resolution of support for the program as well.
So, Ms. Guild, could you maybe perhaps explain to those who are really motivated, like I, to recruit businesses, what we would have to do to publicize this in the community to get the broadest applicant pool possible?
Well, when the applications are available, which we're expecting that to be early February, I will send out a notice to all of the council members alerting you. I plan to write a draft news bites for all of your newsletters. And we also do send the information out, the staff sends the information out to all of the business associations to get the word out through those vehicles. And then I would just ask council members to, include this in newsletters, include it in regular communication that you have with your business constituents. Go visit a business that you think might be a good fit for this program and let them know about the resource available.
Could you give us some examples of businesses in the past that have been involved?
Well, one of my favorite examples is Saffron Restaurant, which when they applied, they were Saffron Restaurant. But through the process of the growth strategy development, they decided to go into the food truck business. And they were one of the very, very earliest food trucks there, World Street Kitchen food truck, and then turned that into a brand for another brick and mortar restaurant. So they're a great example of an expanding business that participated. Another one of my favorite examples is Mother Earth Gardens, which has their flagship at 38th Street and 42nd Avenue South. And after they went through the program, they opened a second store in Northeast Minneapolis in Ward 1.
Further questions for Ms. Guild with regard to the City Council sponsoring this Emerging Entrepreneurs Program? Any further questions? So the action is to approve the resolution and support. I'll make that motion. Further comments or questions from anyone? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here today. Seeing no further business before us, we are adjourned.